Struggling with SNAP recertification in Washington? You're not alone. Discover the step-by-step process that will make sure you don't lose your valuable benefits. Stay tuned as we break it all down today. Welcome to The Explainer. We're tackling a topic that honestly causes a lot of stress, but it really doesn't have to once you know the rules of the game. We're giving you the absolute ultimate guide to mastering Washington State's SNAP recertification.
Because let's face it, there is literally nothing worse than that sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize your grocery budget is on the line. It's incredibly stressful. But hey, don't worry. By the end of this explainer, you're going to be a total recertification pro.
So, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the SNAP recertification basics, look at timelines and required documents, walk through a step-by-step application guide, cover how to avoid common mistakes, and wrap up with denials, appeals, and resources. Let's dive in.
Section 1. SNAP Recertification Basics. Securing your basic food.
Okay, so in Washington, you probably know SNAP as basic food. And recertification, which the state officially calls an eligibility review, is just the mandatory process to renew those benefits before your current period ends. And I really want to emphasize the word mandatory here. This isn't just a friendly, casual check-in, right? It is a strict legal requirement. If you just ignore the notice to recertify, your benefits will absolutely lapse. But knowing exactly when and how to respond, that changes everything.
Moving right along to Section 2, Timelines and Required Documents, Gathering Your Essentials.
Now, timeline differences actually vary pretty drastically across Washington's programs. Not everyone is on the exact same schedule here. If you're on standard basic food, your certification length is 12 months, and you're going to need to do an annual review and an interview. But ESAP, that's the Elderly Simplified Application Project, operates totally differently. If everyone in your household is 60 or older or disabled and has zero earned income, your cycle is 36 months. And get this, you don't even need an interview at Renewal. Then there's WashCap for single SSI recipients living alone. That's also a 36-month cycle, and it's actually completely automated using Social Security data. So you've really got to know your specific program, because it entirely dictates your timeline.
Before you even sit down to fill out a single form, do yourself a huge favor and gather these essentials. DHS is going to need proof of your Washington residency, proof of your income, and yeah, that means both earned money from a job and unearned money, plus immigration status documentation if that applies to you, and your personal identification details. Literally, just having these in a folder on your computer or sitting right there on your kitchen table before you start will save you so much frustration later on.
All right, Section 3, Step-by-Step Application Guide. Time to take some action.
The standard recertification life cycle is surprisingly linear, kind of like a simple 3-step dance. Step 1, you'll get a notice of expiration from DSHS, usually right around the first day of the final month of your certification period. Step 2, you submit your completed eligibility review form. And Step 3, for most standard basic food recipients, you absolutely must complete a mandatory caseworker interview. It's super straightforward, but missing even one of these steps will definitely trip you up.
Now, Washington actually gives you 4 different ways to submit your form. Option 1 is going online at washingtonconnection.org, which is highly efficient. Option 2, you can call DSHS directly at 877-501-2233 and just do it right over the phone. Option 3 is dropping it off in person at a local community services office between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. And finally, Option 4 is faxing or mailing it in. My personal recommendation? Go with the online portal or the phone line. They're incredibly direct, and they create an immediate digital record that you actually took action.
When it actually comes time to hand over your supporting documents, you really need to pay attention to these rules. You can use the document upload portal at documentupload.dhs.wa.gov, but just keep in mind there's a 20 megabyte limit per file. You can also call and request a My Docs link to securely email your attachments. But here is the golden rule. Seriously, no matter how you choose to submit, make sure your DHS client ID or the last 4 digits of your Social Security number is written on every single page. If your pages somehow get separated in the massive DHS system, that ID is the only thing connecting your proof back to your specific case.
Which brings us to Section 4, Avoiding Common Mistakes. Let's protect those benefits.
Let's look at a pretty common scenario. Say you submit your review form on time, right? But you forget to do the interview. Or maybe you're missing just one pay stub. At the end of your 12th month, your certification expires and your case gets automatically suspended. Scary, right? But Washington has this brilliant safety net, the 13th month grace period. If you complete your interview and provide that missing document by the end of that 13th month, your caseworker can reinstate your case and issue you your full, unprorated benefits all the way back to the first of the month. But a quick word of warning, if you miss that 13th-month deadline, the case stays closed for good and you have to start a brand new application completely from scratch. You also have to stay ahead of rule changes, especially this recent one regarding ABOTS, that stands for Able-Bodied Adults Without Dependents. Listen closely to this one. As of February 2026, DSHS eliminated regional waivers. So, to keep your benefits for more than 3 months, you now must complete 80 hours of work activities monthly, statewide. There's no way around it. However, there are some vital exceptions that can legally save you from these strict time limits. You're completely exempt from the ABOWD work requirements if you're pregnant, temporarily incapacitated, receiving paid family medical leave, or if there's a child under 14 in your assistance unit. Also, a really massive recent change is that American Indian or Alaska Native tribal members, and this actually includes descendants of the first or second degree, are completely accepted from the ABOW time limits. Make absolutely sure DSHS knows if any of these apply to you.
All right. Final section, Section 5, Denials, Appeals, and Resources. This is your ultimate safety net.
90. That is the exact number of days you have to request a hearing with a judge if your application gets denied, or even if you just believe your benefit amount is wrong. Do not wait on this. If you get a denial letter in the mail and you disagree with it, you need to invoke your right to a hearing within this 90-day window.
And just to reiterate why timelines are absolutely crucial, if your eligibility review is submitted late, meaning after your certification period has officially ended, it's legally treated as a brand new application. Your benefits will be prorated from the day you submitted it, which literally translates to lost grocery funds for the days you missed. On the flip side, an on-time submission guarantees continuous, full, unprorated benefits for your next cycle. Being punctual literally pays off.
Look, if you're ever stuck, please use these lifelines. The WashingtonConnection.org self-service portal is always up 24/7. You can call DSHS customer service at 877-501-2233. And never hesitate to just walk into your local DSHS Community Services office for in-person help. Those staff members are literally there to help you succeed in maintaining your benefits. And don't forget the document upload portal at docupload.dshs.wa.gov for securely sending in those files. Help is absolutely available to you, so use it.
We'll wrap up today with our necessary disclaimer. This explainer is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional advice. For specific guidance and support, please consult the Washington Department of Social and Health Services directly or seek advice from a qualified professional. Thank you so much for joining me today. You absolutely have the tools and the knowledge you need to conquer your recertification and secure the nutrition you deserve. Stay organized, be proactive, and don't hesitate to reach out to DSHS if you need a hand. Which leaves us with one final question to ponder. Now that you've mastered the SNAP bureaucracy, what other local government resources are you leaving on the table just because of confusing paperwork?